Hello, bonjour, buongiorno, kalimera, dzień dobry. This is Paula Accent Maker, your professional accent coach. I have a privilege doing in my life what I truly adore, and this is helping people speak beautifully in a confident, competent way, help them reduce the foreign accent and acquire the chosen one. I consider it as my life mission. I've been doing it for over 10 years now, and every now and then I encounter lots of stereotypes and myths that are repeated, and they concern teaching, learning pronunciation and accent coaching in general. In majority of cases, these things are unfair, nonsensical and simply untrue. Today, I'd like to discuss the most common ones that I hear on a regular basis. Number 1. I am too old. This is the argument that I hear the most frequently, I think. And it's funny because it's very often pronounced by people who are 30 or maximum 40 years old. But it's based on so-called theory of the critical period that claims that it is possible to learn a native-like way of language only until you are 12, 13, maximum 14, depending on the version of this theory. What I can say from my part is that this is absolutely not true. Majority of my clients are people at the age of 30, 40, the average age is 35, 36. And somehow, miraculously, these people manage to succeed with me. Such people usually have their very first contact with learning any kind of pronunciation exactly at the age of 35, 36, 40. It's more difficult for them than for children or teenagers, of course, but still, with appropriate tailor-made techniques, it is possible to succeed and improve your pronunciation by over 100% compared to this, how you used to speak before. I had a client who started working with me, both on his accent and English in general, from scratch, at the age of 49. And after 2 years, he was speaking in such a beautiful way that everybody around kept asking him how long he lived in London, where he was born, where he came from. Everybody complimented his English. He was 51. My experience has shown me that it's never too late to start working on pronunciation. However, it is extremely important what kind of exposition you have. So the better quality of English you are exposed to, the bigger chances of a spectacular success. Myth number 2. I haven't been to any English-speaking country. And why do you think that going abroad will somehow miraculously guarantee you acquiring a perfect accent? If that was the case, then majority, if not all, immigrants and expats would have a great accent the moment they started living in an English-speaking country. And as we know, this is not what happens. What is more, I know people, for sure you do as well, that have been living for 20 or even 30 years in the US or in the UK, and they still have very strong, hard foreign accents. Going abroad is no guarantee for phonetic success. There is no guarantee that just by being there and being surrounded by native speakers, your accent will change by itself. If you don't work on it deliberately, if you don't practice, nothing will be changed by itself. My best students who have managed to achieve a great accent either have never been to an English-speaking country, or they have, but just once or twice, each and every time for a very short period of time. They say that the most important thing that was done is a consistent and regular work. Whereas my clients who had been living abroad before we started our cooperation said that living abroad gave them nothing, as they couldn't pay attention to things that they should have, as if they had literally closed ears. They started to pay attention to some details only after I explained some things to them, and then everything started to make sense. But after, they started to deliberately practice, and this is the key to success, not just the fact of living and being abroad. So please stop repeating this myth, as it's just a myth. You can successfully learn an English accent living in your motherland working hard, persistently and regularly. Myth number 3, I have no language or phonetic talent. Do you need to have any talent to sleep, eat, or speak in general? Not really, because speaking is either a reflex or it's a set of habits or actions that you repeat on a regular basis, and as a result they become yours. It's automatic. It has nothing to do with talent. You start doing one thing, you keep repeating it, and then it gets imprinted inside you. This way we learn how to brush our teeth, how to lace our shoes, and how to speak. So firstly, we do it by imitation, and then by regular repeated practice. The same thing is with learning pronunciation. 5, maximum 10% is any talent, but 90% is your regular work, repetition, and practicing. No black magic here. Stereotype number 4. I have no musical talent. This one is my favorite one. There is no scientifically proved correlation between having a musical talent or even being a musical genius and being able to have a beautiful accent. It might be helpful, but it doesn't have to. If you listen to the interviews with some famous musicians or even classical musicians who play the piano, violin or any other instrument, you might find out that sometimes their English is nothing English-like. Plus, another argument that should end the discussion here is that I myself teach people who are hard of hearing or even completely deaf, which means that either they have some serious hearing disorders or they can't hear at all. So if such people can improve their pronunciation, then are you still going to tell me that you don't have musical hearing? Seriously? Myth number 5. I don't need it. Some people claim that they don't have to learn correct pronunciation because they like the foreign accent. It makes them sound special. Okay, I'll give you such example. Imagine that you're abroad and you've had a nasty accident. Let's say it's somewhere in Africa. You end up in hospital, there is a lot of blood, you're afraid you're going to die. And then comes your doctor, black-skinned, maybe with dreadlocks, with some tribal elements, and his name is Mwambumahari. You look at him and you start wondering what the hell is going to happen with you in this exotic country and how you're going to communicate with this peculiar man. And then your doctor starts speaking. Very, very nasty accident, operation needed right away. And how would you react? I think such exclamation would only deepen your horror. And now imagine the same doctor, the same black-skinned with dreadlocks, with tribal elements, his name is Muhammad Mahari, and the same doctor starts speaking to you with a beautiful British accent. I deeply regret to inform you that the scale of your accident was profound, although we will do our utmost to help you to a significant extent. How would you react then? I think you would be impressed. Wouldn't you think that if his accent is so good and he must have put so much effort and energy to learn it, then in his proper field, which is medicine, he needs to be equally or most probably far more competent? And this is exactly how it works. Speaking beautifully makes you perceived as intelligent, professional, competent, and highly educated. And this is how we judge people, and you also do it, whether you like it or not. But only speaking can revert the impression that image does. If you'd like to hear more on the topic, please watch my other video, 5 reasons why you should learn correct English pronunciation. And that's it for today. I hope I've managed to dispel some of your doubts and wrongly repeated myths. And right now, you will stop believing in them and stop repeating them. If you want to be up to date with my films, please subscribe my channel, Paula Accent Maker, or follow my social media. I hope to see you again soon. Ciao!